Gentlemen, give me 1 second right here. Give me 1 second. Let's make sure we are live. Let me make sure we are live with the YouTubes. YouTubes. Are we live? Let's see. Let's see. All right. All right. Yes, indeed. We are live on the YouTubes. Are we live on X? Let's make sure. All right. Let's make sure. 1 second. All right. All right. Let's see here. Make sure we're live on the X. Are we live on the X? Yes, we are. Excellent. Get it? Excellent. It cracked me up. Anyways, hold on 1 second. Make sure we are live over here. We live. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see here. Let's make sure we're live over here. Everything copacetic. Okay. Looking good. All right. All right. Oh, what's going on? Night Road, good morning. Good morning. He says, good morning, DBLs. Good morning, Night Road. Hope you're doing well. All right. All right. Let's see here. Let's make sure we're doing good. How is the UB tools? Let's make sure X is working good. X is working. Yes, it is. Ooh, yes. Ooh, there we go. All right. Beautiful. All right. Let's take a look over here. Let's see about Twitch. Twitch is good. Is Twitch good? Yes, Twitch is good. All right. Marty, good morning. Bobo Beeb says, howdy. Hear you, Lima Charlie. Good. Copy that, Bobo. Thank you. Good morning, by the way. All right. Let's see here. All right. Good. Just getting all the announcements and stuff out, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing today? Hope you guys had a wonderful Taco Tuesday, and now it's time for Wednesday. It's hump day. Ever seen that Geico commercial, ladies and gentlemen? The one with the camel just walking around the office, and he's saying it's hump day. Man, that was a good commercial. That was back when, like, I think, what was it, Geico? Geico made good commercials. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Geico. But, hey, Geico, look, hit me up. Sponsorship. Hey, I have my people talk to your people, all right? Yes. But, yeah, no, they made some good ones. They made some good ones back in the day. Now they're like, okay, you know, you still got the Gecko, who's really cool. But all the other ones are kind of, You know what I mean? The cavemen were good. The one with the piglet in the seat going wee. That one was cool. That one was cool. Yes, yes, that was Geico. It always started with that one guy with his hair slicked back going, "Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance?" And then he asked some other mundane question, and then it would cut to like the most ridiculous thing you ever saw in your life. It was awesome. Nowadays, it's like, man, They don't make them like that no more. You know what I mean? They don't make them like that no more. Which is messed up. The fact that I'm saying they don't make them like that no more. Meanwhile, I'm Gen Z. Oh God. I know that some of my more millennial fan base is probably looking at that like, oh God, I feel old. Why? Why did you say that? Stop. 2000, buddy. Ooh, trust me. You're like, ah. Yeah, one of my friends mentioned something that was like that he grew up with in the '90s that I didn't know what it was. He's like, when were you born? 2000. He's like, I'm old. I'm like, bro, you're almost 30. He's like, I know. Stop. Don't remind me. He's like, poor guy. I mean, I get it. I get it, man. I get it, dog. I truly do. I'm like, there are people who were born. I found out that like there are people now who are like what, like almost, I believe almost 10 people who were born the year Fortnite came out are now almost 10 years old. Okay, that made me feel old. That made me feel old. That made me feel old, man. I'm like, what? They're almost 10? What the heck? They're in the double digits? Oh no. Oh my God, like come next year, it's gonna be that. Oh boy. That's gonna be a time. Or will they be 11? I don't know. I don't know. It's either 2016 or 2017. I was in high school when Fortnite came out. Like it was like all the rage back in the day. All the rage back then, you know? Not back in the day. Oh my God. Back then. It was all the rage back then, ladies and gentlemen. All the rage. All the rage. I'm just getting all the everything all set up here, and then after that we're gonna get ourselves all started up. Just getting everything set. Yeesh. But yeah. Hold on. Got that little let me just share the stream real quick, and then after that I'm gonna fix that little glitch in the YouTubes. Yes. Like literally my friend told me that yesterday though, that like kids that were born during the era of Fortnite would now be about 10 years old. I'm like, that made me feel so old. Oh God. All right. All right, there we go. All right. There we go. There we go. Let me fix the glitch over here. The glitch, the glitch, the glitch. Let me fix the glitch over here. Yes, sir. All right, there we are. There we are. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's get to this intro started over here. Let's get the intro started. All right. Let's get this intro started. What's up, guys? It's Double Nix, and welcome to another episode of Microcap Mornings. I am your host with the most. They call me DBL Nix in the house, aka the Rainmaker. And I am here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds, the high trees, the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she likes to regular ski. Sometimes she likes to, get shot out the cannon and she goes, wee! Other times she likes to go to RBs and watch videos of puppies and kitties. Other times she likes to go into the stonk market and find all sorts of stonks that, you know, on the ABCDs, such as XWEL, UOKA, and AREB. We call her Deviant Moms. Dish. All right. So, yes, say hello. Say hello to the people, Deviant Moms.
Hello to people.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. All right. So, yeah, that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. And before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different. And the early bird gets the cash. All right. And we called quite a few wonderful stonks today. We called XWEL. XWEL called it on our private Discord server prior to its run up 132%. We called XWEL prior to that run on our private Discord server up 132%. 132% right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ran up nice. You know what I mean? There we go. Give me a second. Let me just get some water in me. Let me get some water. There we go. All right, there we go. That's that stuff right there. All right. So, yeah, we called XWEL prior to that 132% run on our private Discord. Again, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out, because we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. All right. We also called a couple of other stonks. We called UOKA, which ran up a nice 54%. 54% right there. All right. UOKA, we called AREB, AREB, which ran up a nice 31%. 31% right there. That's what we got going on. That is what we got going on. All right. So, yeah, that's what we got. That is what we got going on right there. So, those are the stonks. We called quite a few. All right, let's take a look over here. Let's take a look at KIDZ. KIDZ, as of now, is moving its way on up. KIDZ has a 19 million float, 101 million volume. So that is pretty good right there. That's pretty good. Let's take a look up here. Bop right there. A little bit of a pennant forming right over here. Boom. All right, let's see. Hold on. Get this over here. All right, but basically, KIDZ has a pennant forming right over here. Needs to break above this pennant and needs to break above the VWAP right now. It's testing the VWAP right here, but it needs to break above the pennant as well. Was a bit overbought in the RSI earlier in the day, but now is below. It is leaning towards being overbought in the RSI, but not quite there yet. So KIDZ, as of now, that's what we got going on. That is what we got going on. So KIDZ needs to break the pennant and is testing the VWAPA right now, KIDZ. So that's what we got going on right there. XWEL called the stock prior to its 132% run. XWEL ran up nicely, 132%. Has a bit of a cup and handle that formed right over here. Take a look right here. Bop right there. Cup. All right. And handle right there. Actually, you can go so far as to say right there. A little lower. There you go. And then little handle right here. Bop right there. All right. So could potentially curl upward off the cup and handle right there. It's a bit of a choppier cup and handle, but it's still a cup and handle, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go. That's what we got going on right there. XWEL up 120% right now. Had a high of 132%. All right, XWEL needs to break above the cup and handle bull pattern right there for it to be schmexier to me, for it to be schmexier to Mya right there. All right, and XWEL has a 5 million float, 35 million volume, so we got that going on right there. XWEL doing its thing right now. So that's what we got going on with XWEL. It's just chilling right now like a villain, but right now has to also break above the VWAP here. So XWEL also needs to do that. So we'll take a look at CRCG in the meantime. CRCG is on a bit of an uptrend here, So 9 EMA is kind of moving away from the VWAP, which means that it is getting a little bit extended. Was a bit overbought in the RSI at one point in time, peaking above that overbought line right there. So it's kind of right now below it right now, but it was peaking above it quite a few times and was at one point just explicitly above it right over here. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. All right, and let's see here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back. All right, so CRCG as of now is way above the VWAP, but it is kind of moving away from the VWAP, which means it's getting a little extended. But as of now, it is on the uptrend. So CRCG up 38% is on the uptrend over here. CRCG on the uptrend. There we go. There we go. Let's take a look back at XWEL. XWEL. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, as I want to get a support and resistance line on that XWEL right there. So we'll see what goes on here. Let's take a look at the thingy. The thingy there, you know, the thingy. Yes, the thingy. All right, the support and resistance area. All right. Currently, as of now, it's still fighting to stay above the VWAP right now. VWAP is at 83 cents, and so is the price action right there. So can it break above that cup and handle? We'll have to see. Needs to stay above that little VWAP and break above it. We'll see what goes on there. Needs to break above 92 cents as well and hold above 81 cents. Needs to hold above 81 cents, break through 92, and then afterwards break through $1.10. So it has to do both of those things right there. But as of now, XWEL needs to break above the VWAP. XWEL needs to stay above the VWAP as of now for it to be somewhat schmexy to me, because that is also a bit of a support slash resistance line right there. So we got that going on. So yeah, that's what we got going on right there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a share party going. Let's get to the first 100. 100, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Let's get to the first 100, 100, 100. All right, AREB. Let's take a look at AREB, American Rebel Holdings, Inc. Up 20%, up 20% as of now. All right, let's take a look over here. Currently below the VWAP, So it's got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Currently, it is below the VWAP. Needs to break this pennant right over here. Boom. For it to be so much maxi to me, it needs to break the pennant and needs to break the VWAP right there. So, as of now, AREB needs to break the pennant and the VWAP for it to be so much maxi to Mya. There we go. There we go. There we go. So, AREB needs to break the pennant and the VWAP. There we are. All right. So, yeah. All right, let's see how CRCA is doing. CRCA also moving above the VWAP. Again, 9 EMA is kind of diverging away from the VWAP. So right now it's becoming a little bit more extended. Is a bit overbought in the RSI as well. So we got that going on as well. That's what we got going on. So CRCA currently on the uptrend, but is diverging, but is becoming a bit more extended. So CRCA on the uptrend. We got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. There we go. CRCA on the uptrend. Alex Martinez says, morning, brother. Did you play XWEL Asteroids yesterday? I cooked it off the wedge at 59 cents, still holding half my position, and decided to hold instead of taking a profit. After hours, not asteroids. I was about to say XWEL Asteroids. Hold on. After hours. We looked at it. We did look at it quite a bit, but XWEL, we called it earlier in the morning, very early in the morning, and it ran up a nice 132% since we called it. So yeesh, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. So we're gonna take a look at XWEL again. We'll take a look at it again, see how it's doing right there. XWEL right now looks like it is supposed to be forming a cup and handle, but right now is kind of consolidated and moving its way on down right now. It's supposed to be a cup and handle right here, but it looks like the cup and handle might have failed a little bit. We don't know for sure. Has to break above the VWAP and break above that cup and handle for it to really be schmexy to me. But other than that, XWEL needs to break the VWAP and climb and curl off the cup and handle, because the cup and handle bull pattern exists. That's, it looks like a cup and handle bull pattern, a little bit choppier, but it is a cup and handle bull pattern sort of. So it has that right there. So can it curl? We'll see what happens with XWEL. XWEL and Alex, be careful on the ladder, brother. Be careful on the ladder. We know how you get when you accidentally type asteroids when you mean after hours, brother. Yeah, that's how I know. That's how I know. Be careful on the ladder, brother. You know we love you, buddy. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Consistency spike asked for TTD. TTD. Let's take a look over here. Conference call scheduled for today at 5 p.m. for TTD. And they announced their Q4 earnings confirmed after the market closed today. So they got that going on right there. That is what they got going on right there. But, ladies and gentlemen, here's what we got going on as well. We have a series of choppiness over here. Chop over here, 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 and here, as well as right over here. This shows me that there's a lot of choppiness going on in this stock right here. Not a lot of volume. TTD, let's take a look at it. Float is 437.8 million. Volume is 98,000 and change. So they got that going on right there. That is what they got going on. Do they have any news? The trade desk launches Ventura streaming ecosystem via Nexon sign on as its first Ventura collaborators. All right, and they maintained neutral trade desk, lowers price target to 23. And yeah, they introduced the Ventura ecosystem to advance the future of CTV advertising via Nexon join as the first collaborators. So yeah, that's what they got going on right there. That came out yesterday. And they did have some news on that yesterday. But as of now, it needs a lot more volume than what it's got. It's a very heavy float, very low volume. So as of now, TTD needs a lot more volume for it to be so much mexy to me. So TTD needs a lot more volume to curl and break the choppiness. Right there. So it has to break that choppiness, ladies and gentlemen, because it's got that chop going on. It's got that chop. You know what I mean? Got that chop real smooth. Turn it out. It's got that stuff going on right there. All right. CRCG. Let's see how it's doing. Still on the uptrend, ladies and gentlemen. Still on the uptrend and climbing. CRCG still climbing, ladies and gentlemen. CRCG still climbing. Has a 5 million volume, unknown amount of float right now, but CRCG is still climbing as of this point. So we got that going on right there. CRCA has a 10 million volume, unknown amount of float, CRCA, but it is still climbing as well, ladies and gentlemen. It is still on the uptrend, still climbing its way on up. CRCA still on the uptrend. All right. CRCA still on the uptrend right there. RCKY, RCKY. Let's see how RCKY is doing. Not liking this one too much. A lot of chop over here, a lot of chop over there, and lots of chop over there. So as of now, and it's also kind of expensive. Rocky Brands Inc. up 22%, but is expensive with low volume. So RCKY, all right, expensive with low volume, right? Expensive with some low volume there, not looking too schmexy. HCWC as of now looks like it's on a bit of a downtrend right there. Might even be a descending wedge, possibly, maybe, but fell below the VWAP. So we got that going on right there. So let's see where that goes. But right now, it's currently on a bit of a descending wedge here. Needs to curl off that descending wedge for it to be so much mexy to me. Otherwise, you know how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, HCWC has a 16 million float, 20 million volume, so the volume's higher than the float, but it needs more volume to really break that descending wedge, as well as the VWAPA right there. So HCWC needs volume to break the descending wedge and the VWAPA. There we go, right there. That's what we need. All right, YOU, you. All right, a little bit expensive. Up 21%, is moving up on very low volume as of now. 54 million float, 22,000 volume. Not looking too schmexy there, but I will say it is moving up on some low volume, but it is very choppy. If you look right here, take a look. Chop right there, and chop right there. Conference call is currently in progress. Q4 earnings were released today before the market opened, so we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. But as of now, YOU on the uptrend on low and choppy volume. Expensive. Yes, so not looking too schmexy to meow. Not looking too schmexy to meow. Yeah, it's on the uptrend a little bit, but it's overbought in the RSI and is very low volume. Not looking too schmexy to me. So that's what we got going on right there. UOKA. Let's take a look at UOKA. All right, UOKA as of now, also a bit choppy in terms of movement. A little bit choppy. A little bit of choppiness right there. A little bit of chop. Hold on one second. Right there. Let me get this. All right, currently it is on a bit of a pennant right here, but as of now, could use some more volume to break the pennant and the VWAP for it to be so much mexy to me. UOKA needs to break the pennant and the VWAPA for it to be so much mexy to me. But right now, it had that double toppa right over there. A little bit of a double top right there at the 21-cent mark as well. So we got that going on right there. So UOKA, that's what we got going on. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a second. I'm just going to get some water. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 300. 300. Give me 1 second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. All right. Let's see what other stonks we got going on here. What other stonks we got going on? If you got any requests, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right. Give me 1 sec. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got some requests over here. Got some requests going on over here. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. 1 second. All right. Hold on. All right. All right. Let's see here. Hold on. All right. Okay. There we go. Let's see here. Let's see here. One sec. Let's see. second here. All right. Hold on 1 second. All right. Hold on. Let me find this. Whoop! It's the little toot 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 toot. There we go. Give me 1 second. Ah, there we go. All right, there we are. Let's take a look over here now. Somebody requested UBER. UBER. Okay. All right, let's take a look. UBER. Uber. Not looking too schmexy. Very choppy. Look at this chop over here. Lots of chop. Look at this chop over here. Chopped as heck. You know what the slang for chop means? It means it's ugly. All right. It's very ugly. It looks chopped. All right. Not looking schmexy at all. All right. A lot of choppiness over here, here. All right. Over here. Another one over here. More over here. Man. Very expensive, too. Not looking too schmexy. So UBER, it not only is expensive, but it's also choppy. Choppy and expensive. Needs volume to even try and stay above the VWAP. It's trash, really. That's what it is. I'm gonna be real. It's kind of trash. Like, ugh. Yeah. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. 1 second. Ugh, gross. Ugh. Gross. Let's see here. Let's see about this VIR. Somebody requested VIR. Let's see how VIR is doing. On a slight uptrend, but again, very choppy. Look at the chop over here and the chop over here. A lot of chop over here as well. And more over here, right there. And then just a gap right over here. All right. It moved up, but it's moving up on some seriously low volume right there. So VIR moving up on very low volume. Moving up on very low volume. Choppy. And risky. Not looking schmexy to me. VIR, not looking schmexy. Let's take a look and see what else we got here. All right. Let's take a look at XWEL, see how it's doing. XWEL. Let's take a look at our XWEL. All right, looks like it fell down below where we wanted it to go, but has since formed a bit of a double bottom right over Mya and curled its way on up slightly. Needs to break above that VWAP though. So XWEL curling off the double bottom and is testing the VWAP. There we go. Testing the VWAP. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. So boom, right there. Boom. All right, let's see what else we got. RETO has a bit of a pennant going on over here. That's what it's got going on. Let's take a look. Bop, right there. Shot up, pulled back, went below the VWAP, and then created this pennant right here. So RETO needs to break the VWAP and the pennant right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. RETO needs to break the VWAP and the pennant right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. UOKA. Let's see how that's doing right there. UOKA still pulling back quite a bit. Still has to break that double top pennant and VWAP, so it's got that going on right there. UOKA still has to break the double top VWAP and the pennant right there for it to be somewhat schmaxy to mya. There we go. HCWC. Let's see how that's doing. Looks like it's curling a little bit, curling slightly off the descending wedge. Can it break the VWAP? We'll see what goes on there. HCWC. All right. HCWC. Curling off the descending wedge. Needs to break the VWAP. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. So that's what we got going on right there. That's what we got going on. All right. KIDZ. How's KIDZ doing? KIDZ still needs to break that pennant. Still needs to break the pennant right there and the VWAP. KIDZ still needs to break the pennant and the VWAP. All right. CRCG is still on that uptrend. Yes, it is. Still on that uptrend. CRCG still on the uptrend. All right, so we got that going on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the 400. Let's get the 400, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. All right, let's see here. All right, let's take a look at RETO. We're going to take a look at RETO. Still needs to break the pennant. RETO still needs to break the pennant right there for it to be somewhat schmaxy to mya. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. Let's see here. All right. 1 second. All right. Let's take a look. Let's see what else we got. Ladies and gentlemen? Let me add them. Let's see here. Somebody requested. Hold on 1 second. All right. ONDS. Somebody requested ONDS. All right. ONDS. All right. ONDS on the uptrend. Right there. So we got that going right there. All right. Unconfirmed Q4 earnings in 14 days from now on March 11th, Wednesday, before the market opens. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on the uptrend right now. So ONDS, as of now, moving up a little bit. Not looking too schmexy. ONDS on the uptrend. All right. But it's only up 2%, really. So if you could call it an uptrend, I was say it's moving up. Uptrend is like a little ridiculous when you say it and it's like up 2%. I'm just saying it's a little bit not looking too schmexy there. It's all right. I mean, it's up 2%. 2%. Let's see here. All right. There we go. There we go. Let's see here. There we go. All right, let's see here. Let's take a look at SGN. SGN. All right, SGN. Let's take a look at that. SGN. All right. Climbed up and then made a bit of a descending wedge right here. Had a bit of a double top right over here. All right. As of now, needs to break this descending wedge right here. 15%. SGN needs to curl off the descending wedge, up 14%, right? But, you know, it looks like it's moving downward still a little bit. So we'll see what goes on. Needs to break out of that descending wedge and double top for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. All right. Next up is IOVA. IOVA. Let's take a look at that one right there. Up 10%. 10%. Which, you know, let's see right there. Not looking too schmexy right now. Not looking too schmexy. It's only up 10%. And now it looks like it's starting to move its way back downward because it was a bit overbought in the RSI, which kind of is sad because it's 10% and overbought, which is kind of not looking too schmexy. All right, there we go. All right. All right. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's done right there. I mean, looks like it was on a bit of an uptrend here, up 10%, right? And then just went downward over here, just like made a bit of a descending wedge here. So maybe it curls, but it's only up 10%. Nothing really interesting. Now it's only up 9%, so yeah, no, this isn't really an interesting one right here. IOVA. IOVA. Yeah. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we don't do no 10% baggers or 9%. We actually call stocks that run and make people money, but I'm just saying right there. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying. IOVA, as of now, needs to break the descending wedge for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. And even then, let's take a look over here at the float. The float is probably extremely high. Yep, it is. 332.8 million. Volume is 2 million and change. So, looks like trash. Yes, sir. Okay. Yep. Not looking too schmexy right now. Not looking too schmexy. Let's take a look at INBS. Somebody requested INBS. Let's take a look. There we see. There we go. There we go. Look at that chop. Yep. Choppiness over here. Choppiness over there. Choppiness over here as well. More over here and a little bit more over here. Yep. Not looking schmexy at all. Ugh. All right. Let's take a look over here. A little bit of a pennant maybe. And even then, it looks like it's probably going down. So you got that going on right there. INBS, very much so below the VWAP, up 10%. Very low volume as of now. INBS, very low volume, needs to break the VWAPA and the pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. So, not looking schmexy at all. Ugh. Gross. All right, let's see here. What other stocks do we have today? Let's take a look at FRGT. FRGT FRGT. All right. It is below the VWAPA and also very, very choppy. Has a double top right here. Actually, it's more like a head and shoulders, truthfully. You got shoulder here. Oh, hold on. A little bit of a shoulder here, right? Head is over there. All right, and then you got like another shoulder right around this area right here, which means the chances are good the stock is probably going to go down. So it needs to break that head and shoulders pattern right there. And also, it's like an awkward one, too. It's like a Quasimodo head and shoulders, but it's still head and shoulders regardless. So FRGT needs to break above the head and shoulders bear pattern, but FRGT needs to break the head and shoulders bear pattern today. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. Needs to break above that VWAP too. So not looking too schmexy. Let's take a look at ASST. That one is a bit of a meme stock, but it's a popular one that people have requested of us many a time. So we're going to take a look at it right here. Let's take a look. Lots of choppiness right over here. Choppiness here and here as well. All right, let's take a look at the little bit of pennant that it's got going on right here. It looks like a bit of a pennant right over here, but as of now, very consolidated, low volume pennant. So we got that going on right there. ASST up 5%. ASST needs to break above the pennant. Very low volume and choppiness. So we got that going on right there. That's what we got going on. ASST, very choppy. RETO. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got going on here. RETO still needs to break that pennant. Still needs to break that VWAP. So RETO still needs to break the pennant and the VWAPA for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look and see what else we got going on right here. All right. Let's see here. Somebody requested LRHC. LRHC. As of now, very choppy. Not looking schmexy to me. LRHC. Not looking good here. All right, let's take a look at this. LRHC choppiness over here. Oh, hold on. Let me make a bigger circle because there's a whole lot of chop right over here. All right. Matter of fact, I'd have to circle the whole chart right here. There's a whole lot of choppiness right over here for LRHC. Very choppy as of now. Not looking schmexy to me. Very, very choppy. Needs volume. Up 3%. LRHC. Very choppy and needs volume as of now. So LRHC. Very choppy. Needs a lot of volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. There we go. Right there. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. Hold on one second. All right. So let's see what we got going on. Let's see what we got going on right there. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. All right. So let's take a look and see what else we got going on over here. Hold on one second. Night Rogue says CRCL, please. Okay, sure. CRCL. All right, CRCL. All right, bit pricey. It's a little bit pricey. $73 and change. 11. It's up 11%. 11 bucks, up 19% right now. Has news that Circle Internet Group shares are trading higher after reporting a better than expected Q4 financial result. Conference call has concluded and Q4 earnings were released today before the market opened. So it has that going on right there. It is on an uptrend right now. It is on an uptrend, but again, 9EMA is diverting away from the VWAP over here, and it is expensive. It is $73 and change. So as of now, CRCL, I do know that this one did have quite a bit of chatter around it. So CRCL, as of now, on the uptrend, but needs to stay above the VWAP and, needs to remain friends with the trend right there. So CRCL, expensive stock, up 19%, needs to remain friends with the trend as it climbs the uptrend right there. So it is on an uptrend, but it does need some more. Not necessarily, it needs volume. Obviously, everything needs volume, but it needs to remain friends with the trend. Really, that's really all there is to it with that one. That's really all there is to it. Let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at another stock over here. Somebody requested PayPal, PYPL, PYPL. Let's take a look over here. Okay. All right. Now, normally I don't do stocks like this one right here. It's about $47 and change, up about, I'd say 6%, it says. So it's got that going on right there. Needs more volume though, because it is a pretty big stock, very famous stock too. So it needs more volume, needs to remain friends with the trend right over here, and needs to remain above the VWAPA. So as of now, PYPL, also a bit of an expensive stock there. PYPL, expensive stock, needs to break the pennant and stay above the VWAPA for it to be Shmexi Tumya. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look at another stock here. Somebody requested RXRX. Let's see how RXRX is looking. RXRX, as of now, had a conference call that has just concluded. Q4 earnings were released today before the market opened, up 9%. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look at the float of this stock. The float is 491 million, which is very heavy. Volume is 7.2 million. So again, needs volume, needs a lot of volume. So right now, this stock did have a move earlier in the day. All right, let's hold on one second. There we go. Had a bit of a move early in the day, proceeded to create a bit of a pennant over here and a double top as well. So you got that going on right there. Double top bop right there. Needs to break that pennant, needs to break that double top as well for it to be somewhat schmexy to Mya. RXRX, very heavy. Low volume, needs to break the pennant and the VWAPA for it to be schmexy to Mya. But that's what we got going on right there. That's what we got going on right there. There we go. All right, let's see how CRCG is doing. CRCG. All right, still on that uptrend, still climbing. CRCG still friends with the trend. CRCG still friends with the trend. Still friends with that trend right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on right there. All right. XWEL. XWEL. Looks like it's moving back downward. Needs volume to curl and break the VWAP right there. But it looks like it fell below the support line right there. So, not looking too schmexy. Needs to break that descending wedge right there. Needs to curl above that for it to be so much schmexy to me. But right now, needs volume. XWEL. XWEL needs more volume to break the VWAPA. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's take a look at Mimi. M-I-M-I. M-I-M-I. Me. All right, let's get a share party going. Let's get to 800. 800 people, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. 800 people. 800 people. Let's get this share party going on on the uptrend right now. Mimi on very low volume right here. 17 million float, 5 million volume. So Mimi has some unconfirmed Q4 earnings due in 13 days on March 10th before the market open. So we got that going on right there. All right, so as of now, Mimi moving up on low volume. So that's what's got going on. Needs to remain friends with that trend, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to remain friends with that trend, but it looks like it's not going to remain friends with the trend right there. So that's what we got going on. All right, let's see what else we got here. What else we got? Let's take a look and see here. Somebody requested ZETA, Zeta. All right, so Zeta as of now, not looking too schmexy. Looks like Zeta is on a bit of a downtrend right here. Needs to break this downtrend, needs to break this VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Zeta needs to do that. It was a bit leaning towards the oversold area, but now is just above it. So ZETA needs to break above the downtrend and the VWAP for it to become somewhat schmexy to mya. There we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look and see what other stocks we got going on there. Let's see what we got going on. All right. Let's see here. All right. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 900. 900, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Let's get to 900, 900, 900. All right. Let's see what other stocks we got going on here. All right. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Let's see about some other stocks here. Let's see what we got in terms of other stocks. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Let me go into the requests here. All right. Let's see here. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's take a look back at Mimi. Let's take a look back at Mimi. See how it's doing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how it's doing. Mimi. M-I-M-I. M-I-M-I. All right. M-I-M-I. Still trying to remain friends with that trend right there. M-I-M-I. Still trying to remain friends with the trend. We'll see what goes on there, ladies and gentlemen. MIMI still trying to remain friends with that trend, but as of now, needs some more volume right there. Let's take a look. Somebody requested SOFI. SOFI. Let's see how that's going. SOFI. All right. As of now, Let's see here. Needs to break this descending wedge right here. And needs to break above the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Up 2%. SOFI. Needs to break that down, that descending wedge, but doesn't look like it's going to. SOFI needs to break the descending wedge. Right there. That right there. For it to be so much schmexy to me. Yes, sir. Let's see what goes on. What else we need? What else we got over here? Somebody requested LRHC. LRHC, again, let's take a look. LRHC. As of now, still very choppy. Still needs volume. LRHC still needs more volume for it to be so much schmexy to me. But other than that, not looking too schmexy. Not looking too schmexy to me. All right. Somebody requested RETO. RETO. Let's take a look at RETO right there. RETO. All right. on the uptrend right here. Well, not really on an uptrend. It's just trying to curl above a pennant right now. It's still below the VWAP, so it's got that going on right there. RETO trying to curl off the VWAP right now. RETO trying to curl off the VWAP. All right. Needs to break. Trying to curl off the descending wedge. Excuse me. Trying to curl off the descending wedge, not the VWAP. Descending wedge needs to break the VWAP for it to be so much mexy to me. And doesn't look like it's gonna probably do that. Not gonna lie to you. All right, let's see what else we got over here. What else we got? What else we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. All right. Somebody requested SGN again. SGN. Let's see how that's doing right now. SGN trying to break above the pennant right here, but not looking too schmexy. SGN needs to break above the pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to me, but SGN needs to break that pennant. All right, let's see what else we got going on. What else we got? What else we got? All right, let's take a look over here. Somebody requested CRML. CRML. All right, let's see here. Let's take a look. CRML. Boom. All right, let's see what we got going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got going on. Looks like CRML is on a bit of a downtrend right over here. All right. And is also consolidated along the VWAPA. It is consolidated along the VWAPA and on the downtrend right there. So we got that going on right there. CRML. CRML consolidated along the VWAPA, needs to break the VWAP and the downtrend for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. So, needs volume. Needs volume. Let's see what other stunks we got going on here, ladies and gentlemen. What we got? What we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. Somebody requested open, OPEN, OPEN. Let's see what we got going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1100. 1100, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Come on now. Let's see what we got going on here. Hold on. Let's see what we got going on. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right. Let's see here. Yep. Hold on. There we go. All right. Let's see here. 1 second. 1 second. There we go. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, by the way, if you have anything you want us to take a look at, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Put it in the chat. See what we got going on. All right. All right, all right, all right. All right. Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. There we go. Not looking too schmexy. Not looking too schmexy. Let's take a look. Let's take a look over here. All right. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 sec. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see here. Somebody asked for FSLR. Ooh, that's a very expensive stock. But yeah, sure, I'll take a look. FSLR, very expensive stock. Very, very expensive. Up, it is $198, down 18%. Not looking too schmexy to me. Not looking too schmexy. Needs to break the downtrend, but has news that First Solar shares are trading lower after the company reported worse than expected Q4 EPS results and issued fiscal year 2026 sales guidance below estimates. Also, Bear downgraded the stock from outperform to neutral and cut its price target from 264 to 205. So as of now, FSLR needs to break that downtrend, man. It's very expensive and needs to break the downtrend. So FSLR, expensive and needs to break the downtrend as of now for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. So yeah, that's what we got going on. That is what we got going on. All right. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. What do we got? Let me add them. All right. Let's take a look and see. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot's the cash. Oh, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. All right. And of course, I haven't forgotten. They're taking a look at Mimi over here. But while we're taking a look at Mimi, there was one man. One man.
Stewie!
Yes. The return. When the world needed him most, he returned. Oh, I'm making it sound all cinematic to be a mom. So you mind? Yeah. All right. One man returned when the world needed him most. There he is. There's our boy. Huzzah! Yes! Stewie! There we go. There's our boy. MI needs to break above this pennant. He's pointing upwards, saying, "To arms, gentlemen!" All right, and ladies. He's like, "To arms! I want you curling up! Up, I say! Up!" I know.
Up, I say! Up! Ah!
Look at him. All right, there he is. There. Is that better? I wanted to give him I wanted to give him that He-Man voice. By the power of Grayskull, I have the power. Like that. I wanted to give him that, man. What? Don't hate on me. Don't hate on. Hey, look. Who doesn't like He-Man? Come on, that was. He was the GOAT. All right. It's like, "To arms, gentlemen. I have returned." You know what I should do? Since I'm here. All right. Yes. We're going to give Stewie the bell.
The bell! The bell!
All right. He even has his little sword here. Look. See? Little. Wait. Oh. Hey. There we go. All right. Sword. Hey. Give. Come on, man. I'm trying to draw the sword. There we go. Sword. Yeesh. The sword of empowerment. It looks like he's holding a cross, but you know what? It's a sword. Sort of. Hey, look. I mean, hey, that counts as technically a sword and saber too. See, look at the sword. Yes. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. I think the sword's kind of cool. What do you think, DVO moms? Take a look.
That's a cool sword. That's bigger than Stewie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look. I played a lot of Final Fantasy growing up. What do you want from my life? They had swords bigger than they were too. So, you know, can't hate the player, hate the game. Watched Bleach too. You know, Bleach was a good show, and yeah, that Bleach was a good anime, and that had a guy with a sword that was just as big as he was. So you know what, Stewie, if they could do it, so could Stewie. Okay, let's get a share party, share party, share party, share party. All right, it's time for the Stewie segment. Yes, let's take a look at KIDZ. KIDZ curled up a little bit off the pennant and then proceeded to make a double top. Now looks like it is moving back downward a little bit over here. Can it break that downtrend right there? All right, let's see what goes on. Let's see what goes on with it right now. Let's see what we got going on here. Hold on. And let's see here. Let's see. Hold on. All right. Hold on. All right, let's see here. All right. And there's Stewie. Hold on. All right, there we go. Give me that. KIDZ, as of now, needs to break that downtrend. Needs to break the downtrend right there. KIDZ needs to break the downtrend right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. There we go. All right, as of now, though, we got Stewie, and he's right here. All right, he's got the sword. He's got the sword going on right there. You got the sword. Shing wee.
Oh, geez.
He's got the cool sword,
What
man.
happened to Stewie?
He's jumping off the it's a downtrend, so he's like
wee. Oh, that was like his legs on the bottom. Okay.
yeah, his legs going wee, and his sword shing. He's doing like one of those cool King Arthur things. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. Yeah,
Give Stewie some feet, man.
he has feet. He has feet. It'd be weird. Don't make it weird, okay? XWEL curling off the little downtrend. It curled off the little downtrend here and then proceeded to make a double top and then pulled back again. So needs to break that double top. XWEL needs to break the double top. XWEL needs to break the double top right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. There we go. All right, and as of now, there's Stewie. There he is. Why is one arm shorter than the other? No idea. There we go. There he is. He's standing on the edge, looking at the XWEL and saying to himself, man, can you climb back up so I can climb this mountain? But no. All right, let's see what happens there. We should see what happens there. All right, there we go. Stewie climbing his way back up right now. XWEL trying to curl. XWEL curling off the double top. XWEL curling off the double top. Let's see what happens there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens. Let us see what happens here. It looks like it's climbing up. XWEL's climbing up 121. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. There we go. It's climbing 124. And still moving and grooving. Hold on. Let's get the graffiti pencil up here as our boy climbs. Climb with Stewie. Climb. Climb, you magnificent man. Yes. Yes. Up 132, testing the high a day. All right, there we go. 134 broke the high a day. All right. XWEL up 134 broke the high a day. Woo! XWEL up 134% broke the high of day. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's Stewie. He's climbing up. He's climbing up. He's going up the stairs. He's going up. He's moving up. Hold on. Let me get him his little backpack. He's got his little backpack. All right. And he's got his little sickle over here. He's got his little sickles. The sickles. Yes. And he has his sword. He has his sword on the back over there. Look at him. Look at him looking like one of those legendary adventurers from like Skyrim or whatever the kids play nowadays. There we go. Alex Martinez says, I am up 46% on 750 shares of XWEL. XWEL right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. XWEL is climbing, baby. Climbing, climbing, climbing. All right. XWEL broke the VWAP and is on the uptrend right now. XWEL broke the VWAP and is on the uptrend. There we go. There we go. There we go. Woo! Right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Up 134% and climbing. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on now. Come on. You got it. You got it. You got it. Up 135. 135. Okay. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on now. 137. XWEL up 137. XWEL still climbing. Up 137. New high. Yesh. XWEL. Call this one on our private Discord, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. There's Stewie. He's got his little sickles here trying to climb up. He's doing some rock climbing and stuff. He's doing rock climbing. He's climbing the rocks. Look at that. He's got his little adventurer sword, his backpack, got his hat. Because you know what's an adventurer without a cool adventurer sword, man? You gotta have a cool adventure sword. Otherwise, you know what you're doing.
Right.
Ish. So, Stewie right now climbing up. He climbing up with the little sickles. He likes using the sickles. You know, he got all sorts of stuff there. People are like, what is Stewie's loadout? Oh, he's got all sorts of stuff. He's got the adventurer's sword. He's got the sickles. You'll have to see what else he's got. You'll have to see what else he's got as the Stewie lore intensifies. The lore. Yes, Stewie has lore now. Yes. Bro has lore. Yes, sir. What? TV on Moms is hating. She hating. Hating. All right, let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1500. 1500, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Currently, it is climbing. XWEL climbing on up 140%. Come on now, 142. Ooh-wee. There we go. XWEL up 142. XWEL up 142%. Boom, baby. All right. Still moving up 142. All right. Still climbing, baby. Still climbing. Still climbing. Let's get that support and resistance. Actually, hold on. There it is. Right there. Let's get the support and resistance right over here. Boom. Has support at the 93-cent mark, and it broke through 145, 145, and climbing. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Look at that baby climbing. Yes, sir. 148. 148. Yes, XWEL broke the high of day, up 148%, ladies and gentlemen. 148%. All right. Now it has to break above 95 cents. Has to break above that. And it looks like it's trying to right now. Oh, we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as, oh, my God, 150. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. 150. XWEL, 150%. 150%. XWEL up 156. 156%. Oh my God. Oh, migration. 156. 158. Oh, migration. Oh my. 161. Oh my. 182. 182. Oh, Stewie's doing some climbing right now.
It's pushing.
Woo! XWEL up 182. XWEL parabolic up 182%. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of money. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the parabolic. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of money. Yep. Yes. There's our boy. There's our boy. He's still going. He's still going for it. Yes. There we go. He's still going. He's still climbing. He's still got his cool sword, too. He's got the cool sword. Ooh. He got the cool sword. Look at him. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's climbing his way on up there. All right. All right. That's what we got going on.
Like that.
Yes, sir. All right. All right. There we go. All right. So, there we go. That's what we got going on, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. Just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola. The big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. The big bucks. Big bucks. All right. All right. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out, because we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And obviously, the early bird did get the cash, because you know what? We called XWEL early in the morning, and it ran up a nice 182% right there. Presenta. And it looks like it's trying to curl up some more. But, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we did call a couple of wonderful, wonderful stonks. All right, today. All right. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, when you join our 4-day trial, you gain access to our wonderful CNN War Room, which is basically a place where all of our users basically just congregate, talk, and discuss what they got going on in terms of thought processes when it comes to trades and other things like that. It's a wonderful educational community of people who like to build themselves up, build each other up, and grow together as one big happy family and community. So yeah, that's what they got going on right there. So as of now, that's what we got going on there. It's basically a wonderful place for people to congregate, share their thoughts, grow together, and build themselves up to be the best they can be, and more, ladies and gentlemen. And also, you get the Market Mover Scanner, which has all sorts of amazing stuff. It does a lot of scanning. It scans the ticker, price, volume, float, the change in percentage, whether it's moving up or down, as well as the time in which it was scanned. It also shows the wonderful, wonderful little hyperlinks to each ticker that is currently being kept an eye on. So you can click on those little tickers over there, and you basically get an eyes on the chart. You get eyes on the news. You get eyes on all the information pertaining to that stock. All that at the press of a button. It's a wonderful research tool. As such, you also get access to the newsroom, which basically shows all sorts of articles, synopsis of said articles, as well as the ticker that is affiliated with the news within said article. And by the way, the article is connected to a hyperlink, which does give you the full article for you to read. And of course, there's a hyperlink to the ticker that is affiliated with the article. So that way, you basically just get access to all the information you need pertaining to that ticker. All right, like again, the chart, float, volume, yada yada, all that good stuff. All right, so you got that going on as well. You also gain access to the amazing stock ticker tape, which shows all the tickers that we. Oh my God, XWEL went up to 208. Oh my! Woo! Woo! Oh my! Up 208%. Boom, baby, we called it. Woo!
Stewie in the house.
Yes, sir. Look, wherever Stewie goes, sometimes the parabolique follows. You know what I mean?
Let's go, baby.
Call that the Stewie effect. The Stewie effect right there. Stewie! There we go. That's our boy. That's our boy. All right. 211. Oh, my. XWEL. You make it sound like a bad thing, DBL Moms. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But yeah, like I said, the stock ticker tape is basically where all the stocks that are moving go and congregate. And oh yeah, 214, 216. There we go. 219, 222. There we go. 222. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Nice save there. Nice save there.
That.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
Hi.
All right.
Sure.
And again, we call this on our private Discord, by the way. Like XWEL is popping up right now on the ticker tape, which is basically where all the stocks that are going crazy and they're moving up like immensely, that's where they go. That's where they go. So basically, when the stock is moving up quite a bit, it gets alerted on the ticker tape as, hey, this stock is moving up quite a bit. So, check it out.
222, huh?
Yeah, 222. 222. 222. 222.
That was at 1,022.
Yeah, so there we go. So yeah, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you act now and get the Wealth Builders package, you get access to everything in the real-time alerts and scanners. Plus, you gain access to all sorts of other Wealth Builder exclusive channels, such as, for example, the Wealth Builder exclusive chat, which basically is where the Wealth Builders go to congregate and, discuss and, give their thought processes on all sorts of stocks and other things like that. It's also a place where you have a direct line to Coach Nick Money and myself. So you got that going on right there. a direct line to us, so you can schedule appointments with us and stuff like that too, which is cool. All right, and to top it off, you gain access to Wealth Builders exclusive scanners. You gain access to Wealth Builders exclusive channels, such as the Wealth Builders exclusive content, which shows all of our Wealth Builders exclusive picks, Wealth Builders exclusive stocks, like basically tickers, Wealth Builder exclusive tickers that we're keeping an eye on. We get the Wealth Builder exclusive content, such as our scripts. You get access to our wonderful scripts. You get access to our amazing. You get direct access to Coach Nick Money and myself, obviously. You get access to our scripts. You get access to our massive 500 plus video course that's an educational course on how we trade and what works best for us, that has been built up throughout the years. Is a massive course. Very big. A lot of course material there, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of it. Like 500 videos?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at least 500. At least 500 videos, probably more. So, I mean, I haven't gotten the time to properly count it, but I know it's about 500. You know what I mean? So we got that going on right there. So yeah, be sure to check that out as well. You get access to that amazing course material, as well as the exclusive stocks, as well as the exclusive scripts and all sorts of other cool stuff, as well as our alert archives that we have alerted since the dawn of Coach Nick Money. So yeah, you can keep an eye on all that cool stuff. So that's pretty much it for me. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. And be sure to, it's Double Nicks. I love you guys. I'm here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds, the high trees, the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she likes to regular ski. Other times she gets shot at the cannon and she goes, wee! Other times she likes to go party and watch videos of puppies and kitties. Other times she gets shot at the cannon and she goes, wee! Other times she'll go and steal my lo mein. Other times she'll go into Wendy's or Arby's, and sometimes she'll watch the videos of the puppies. And also, to top it off, she calls some wonderful stocks like XWEL, UOKA, and AREB. We call her DBL Moms. Yes, sir. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we leave, be sure to check us out on our YouTube channel at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where we do lots of stock reviews, stock analysis, lots of long-form videos, live streams, short-form videos, and all sorts of other cool stuff, shorts and other entertainment and other cool stuff like that. So you can find us there as well. You can find us on our X.com, aka Twitter, at Coaching Money, where we do lots of live streaming, stock reviews, and stock analysis. You can find us on Twitch at Coaching Money, at Coaching Money, where we do lots of live streaming. You can find us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, and you can find us on TikTok, Tiki Taki, aka the Tac Tac. You can find us there at DBL Nicks, at DBL NICKS. The screen name is Coach Nick Money. So you got that going on as well. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, that you got that going on there. And also, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to stay tuned for Power Plays, which we will be hosting very, very soon at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen. 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you got that going on as well. That is what you got going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to find us there, where we do lots, where it's hosted by the legend himself, Coach Nick Money, as he basically goes into the stock market, gives his honest analysis, and then lets the stock simmer on high heat, as XWEL is right now at 227, right? Wow. So, yeah, right now, basically, XWEL is 227, 232 actually now, 235. Wow, this stock doesn't want me to leave. It just wants me to stay there. 238. Oh my, right now. There we go. 240. Oh my. 243. Oh my. 243. XWEL 243. Yes, sir. All right, there we go. That's what I like to see. XWEL up 243%. There we go. All right. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for us. Be sure to check out our Power Play show at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as Coach traverses the stock market prior to Power Hour, takes a look at the picks, gives his honest reviews and analysis, and then proceeds to basically let the stock simmer on high heat while he scores a dub for the community in Fortnite, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to check that out. That'll be on our YouTube, Twitch, and our X.com at Coaching Money. At Coach Nick Money. So yeah, be sure to check that out. We'll see you at 1:30 p.m. Everybody, much love. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day and